Alrighty. I think this thing is working. Hopefully. I have no idea. So, it looks like it's going. Looks like everything started. So, we're gonna get back into this. Let's go back over here. Um, just to kind of review. I think this thing. Yeah, that's my stuff. Let's just kind of review this over here. So, what are we doing? So we leveled this guy up a little bit. Just for a quick update. Last time, apparently, I had muted myself in OBS. I don't think that's the case this time. Nope. Just double checking. It's not. That was fun. So I talked for like an hour to myself. Not that that's not happening already, but practice makes perfect. So, we did level this guy up. We got some perks. Obviously, because I'm Prestige 4, why not just get all the perks? Right, so we're running with this right now. Winged Fury, Auxiliary Arsenal. That'll boost our pistol damage quite a bit, up to 35%, which is nice right now. But down the line, we'll probably go for one of these two. They're better in the more difficult settings. We also have Perseverance, Squad Cohesion, Smiting Angel, and Wings of Flame. Now, I was talking at the end of the stream, which no one heard. Awesome. About this particular perk. So I'll read it real quick. A jump pack dash damages enemies along its trajectory and always works as a perfect dodge when dodging an attack. So, or just to put this logic up real quickly, we have a sufficient condition. If you dodge an attack, your dodge works as a perfect dodge, right? If it's not a perfect dodge, you didn't dodge the attack, right? That's the logic. So we'll come over here. Now we'll read this. After a perfectly timed dodge. So I like this. I like this setup a little bit. However, I have a question, and I don't know if anybody could answer it for me. What is the difference between a perfectly timed dodge and a perfect dodge? I don't know if I've watched a lot of content on this. Obviously, I'm a little experienced at it. I don't know what the difference between a perfectly timed dodge is and a perfect dodge is. Like, do you have to actually dodge it perfectly? Or does the fact that it works as a perfect dodge, is that fact sufficient for you to get this benefit, the Aerial Grace benefit, the 30% more damage for 10 seconds? And is it enough to restore your jump pack's ability charge? I don't know. We're going to fuck around and we will find out, as they say. So instead of running, we're going to run with the sword again, because obviously last time no one saw that content. We're going to run either with one of these two. Obviously, this one, because it's a little slower and a little stronger, in my opinion, just a little bit better against Chaos. So we're going to do that. This one, because it's a little bit faster, just a little bit better against the Tyranids. So we're going to do the Tyranids first, just like we did last time. Now, we're not going to run something like Decapitation, because in my opinion, if I'm running Decapitation, I'm going to want something like a fencing weapon or a block weapon, preferably fencing. And, yeah. So we'll go ahead and do that. Maybe we'll do, like, because we're facing like a boss. If we're ever facing like a boss, one of these two is going to be the better option, in my opinion. On top of that, we are going to take a look here and see. So, I had this thought this last time. We'll get into a little bit more of like the whole theme of the last kind of stream that no one saw. It was about pretty much like we did Fall of Atreus, or I did Fall of Atreus, and Ballistic Engine. Now, when I looked at these, it's kind of focusing on like the setting, the environment, as a storytelling device, a character that was conveying an idea. So see if we can explore that a little bit more as well. So we'll be fighting Tyranids again. Why don't we jump into something like everybody's favorite with Inferno? And you know what? Substantial, really easy. We're going to go ahead and get ready. Start jumping into Ruthless. So let's do Ruthless. So let's just read what the description is, because, you know, like the description kind of gives us an idea of what the story, what the environment, the main idea of the environment is. So Lieutenant Titus has proposed a plan to block the Tyranid advance long enough for a successful withdrawal. Detonate a nearby Promethium refinery and incinerate the Xenos in a tide of burning pitch. Ensure the ambush is success. So there's this whole, obviously if you played Inferno, there's this whole kind of tide of like, there's this wave of just stream of constant Tyranids. You go in, they're streaming over a Promethean field. You ignite the Promethium, they blow up. On the way, you kind of start out in the jungle, go through the jungle, you go through a camp, you go into the Promethean fields, you go into the refinery, and then from the refinery, you go into the area where you blow up at Promethium. So what do those specific areas have to say? What is the main idea of those areas? It's kind of an interesting thing, like an interesting kind of little game you can play. Like, what is the main idea of a level? So let's play that. Let's see if we jump in with anybody. Nice. So, who knows where I think we're actually just going to start. I don't know if we're going to start the mission, but we'll join a group. Hopefully my audio is a little better. I think the game audio I increased a little bit. I noticed it was a little low. And I did some adjustments to my mic audio. The output, added a couple filters. Hopefully it sounds a little better. No, I don't have the best mic, but, you know, we work with what we have. So, and we got Ruthley and Hermoso Richard, Brother Richard. Brother Richard is obviously the more active of the two here. Ruthley is not. So, these guys might be, you know, like I was back in the day, trying to rush the content. You don't have to do that. Take your time, guys. Learn the classes. Have fun with it, you know. Sometimes life is too short to want to get ahead. You just gotta enjoy those sweet little moments. Even those fuck-ups can be a beautiful lesson. So, either way, we're going to start in a few seconds. I'm just going to double check to make sure everything is working. Yeah, the sound levels look pretty good. All right, nice. We're not like, you know, all muted and everything again. That was an experience. I'll maybe lower this a little bit. I don't know. Sometimes I talk a little loudly. That's fine. I think it looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and start. Everything's working. Let's go. Some nice Raven gear. I think that's Ruthley and Brother Hermoso Richard, Brother Richard. I don't know what he's repping. Like he's got his own little thing going. I also said last time, you know, like a lot of the equipment, the Accolade equipment, it's like class specific. Like I am not interested in the upcoming class stuff that they have so far, like the kind of armor. Saber could really benefit from, like, if they're gonna do kit bashes, making them like not chapter specific, and then on the flip side, you know, you can say what you will about this, but why not just sell chapter packs, dude? You know what I mean? Like, why not? Why if like someone wants a specific chapter, do that. But like, I'm not interested in Death Watch per se. You know, why are you making that a thing? So I'd prefer like armors that I can kit bash that are kind of more like universal and generalizable, so that I can like apply them across classes. You know, make my specific Space Marine how I want. Now, if that includes like some champion packs or like some armor packs from a specific chapter, it's nice. I'd appreciate that, but at the same time, like, also don't really at the same time, uh if I don't want like I like a piece, but it's like from a specific chapter, I don't want to wear it. It's just, you know. So let's look at that sword a little bit. I don't know if you saw some of the gameplay from that. It moves very quickly, which is nice for the Tyranids, right? Like, it kind of like, it can stun them more, does a little bit more damage, a little bit more rapidly. Which allows you to kind of like take out these guys a little bit quicker. Whereas the other one, while well, you know, it still packs like a decent amount of damage. So I'm gonna let these. What actually, you know, I think I can manage it. I'll go for it again. Last time I picked it up and I died. I don't think my teammates liked me very much, but you know. The other sword moves a little more slowly, but it packs a little bit more of a punch, which I think particularly is useful against Chaos. Like, Chaos in particular, they just don't move as quickly as the Tyranids. Yeah, this little guy here. They suck. These guys, I find it's useful to kind of set up into that kind of like power wave, that whirling power wave, a little more quickly when you're surrounded by Tyranids. Oh, dude, I did not intend that. Nice. So we got a perfect dodge there. We got our gun strike. We'll just do that and that. So those are nice little fun things to set up. Yeah. That nice little quick power whirl with the Tyranids is always very helpful. Tyranids. And these guys as well. Little quick slash tends to take them out pretty quickly as well. You got like the Hellbrutes, you got those Marines. Packing a bit more of a punch because they don't attack as much, I think can benefit the player a little bit more. The Hellbrutes, you still got your block, so like you can ground pound a little bit more. That's why I tend to think like an axe or like a hammer, some sort of power weapon against them tends to be a little more effective. If you're going for a sword, go for one that packs a little bit more of a punch. And go for one that packs a little bit more of a punch while taking out some more enemies. Has that wider arc to it, like something like that axe is probably best, or even a sword. The chainsword, yeah. The things I'll say, it's like, I don't know if like I've learned to kind of like back out of a dodge yet. Be nice to figure that out. Wait for him to jump. He's going to jump. Nice. There we go. Block that. We're going to do next. Just kind of... And because we did that, we can just take him out real quick. Luckily, we didn't get hit by too many spore mines or anything. Because that would have sucked. That generally would have sucked. I think that's why, like, jumping in the air and holding that for a few seconds tends to be quite useful when facing something like a Biobore. I don't know if it lasts after you land, or only while you're in the air, but it doesn't look like those spore mines messed me up too much. Also should see if I can grab some medkits. Pick up an armor kit just because I am still carrying that XP. Not that I need it, right? Maybe for these guys' sake. Carry it with me. Billy charge is nice and filled. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, so like these guys I was mentioning last time, they're just brutal. Like the guys who kind of do the mines, it's not too bad. Like a lot of people complain about the mines. The spitters are way worse in my opinion. Like genuinely way worse. Specific. Oh, okay. So like this, I haven't quite. There it is. So you kind of have to do it. Yeah. The spitters just do a tremendous amount of damage. If you're like a Vanguard, they will screw you up. It'll hurt so badly, so quickly. And no one wants that, right? Like, thanks, dude. Why did you do that? Like, what was the point of that? So we'll take a launch off here. We'll land right in the middle of them, nice, and we'll just kind of take these guys out. That's why I say, like, those surgical strikes, like, you can jump, like, in the middle of shit and do well, but you kind of got to know when to strike and when to not strike. Like, so we'll back up over here, wait for him to attack, right? Kind of land a couple of punches, and then we'll do a power wave. What I like about that is it just takes all those guys out at once. Take these guys out because they're going to be doing some damage to us. Something's attacking. What is that? I don't know. And we'll go for another little power wave. There we go. So those quick attacks with this sword, just absolutely badass in my opinion. And it kind of protects us from any damage we might accrue. Come on. Always, in my opinion, check over these areas. Like, even if it costs you a little time, you still get that scenery. So let's think about where we came from. We went through the jungle. We kind of went into this more chaotic environment, into a more kind of industrialized, artificial environment, this refinery, extracting like death, right? This isn't Promethium essentially like oil, crude oil, extracting a dead substance that to be turned into basically fuel, right? Energy. In this case, a weapon. So we're coming from kind of like a living biological environment into an artificial environment that extracts dead material that has the capacity to be used as fuel and energy. We're going to be using that as a weapon against what I find to be like an enemy. Like the Tyranids, kind of, in my opinion, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, it's just an opinion. You know, like vanilla ice cream is better than chocolate. In my opinion, like the Tyranids represent like this represent life, unconstrained life, consuming and reproducing without end. Nice, that's beautiful. I did not see that coming, honestly. Sometimes I do. I did not see that, though. Hopefully I can get him, take care of him. Nice. I do need to get that kill, though, because I'd like my armor back. Nice. I do need the armor back, specifically because I have the fucking thing. And the little gene seed. And the guy's balls. Yeah, so the Tyranids kind of represent, like, in my opinion, life. Unconstrained life, consuming and reproducing without end. So we're going to be using life, a form of life, dead life, fossilized remains, I think, to burn and destroy, releasing the energy of that life back upon itself. It's fascinating, a little metaphor there. So we whip that. I've heard you can, like, get out of a whiff by attacking twice. I haven't quite figured that one out yet. I feel like my game's running a little more smoothly today. I don't know. I did make some adjustments. I don't know why. Exactly. Here first. Let's get that done. Pick up some armor. Let's see, where are they gonna attack next? Now, it's not as good as the Retribution's Request in a sense, but at least it takes those things out. So 3, shit, we're like way away from it. I think our heavy Rutley, or no, our sniper is going to do a pretty good job taking care of it. We'll take some little shots here. Hopefully getting rid of it, yeah. And there we go. We did a pretty good job. Nice job. Rutley did the yeoman's work there. Rutley? I have no idea how to pronounce that shit. Always be aware of your surroundings, like this sniper. Also be aware of your surroundings so you can use those little environmental explosions. Very useful. Fuck. Yep, at least we was able to take that out. Let's see, what are we dealing with? Because if it's what I think, oh, I need some ammo. I'll take care of him. What kind of extremists are we dealing with? Hopefully it is not. It is. So we're going to have to grab some ammo real quick. There's going to be a pain in the ass because, look, I have 26 rounds left. Clearly not enough to get the job done. Let's take a look over here. Yep, we can take that guy out. We got at least a hit in. So we got one of them down. See, that's what I mean. Like, I have not figured out, like, the exact, like, range or area for that. It just does not make sense to me. So if he attacks me, I'm going to lose some health. That is when we do this. Pretty sure I can at least do enough damage to get some armor back. Beautiful. We'll pick up some ammo. That's one of the bad things about the assault. The ammo, you just eat through ammo with this, with a lot of the weapons, man. You really do. think the what is it? The Neo Volkite pistol is pretty good. Pretty good for preserving ammo. It just doesn't do enough damage for you to get that contested health back. Uh-oh. They drop in performance there. Don't know why. Wait, everything's back to normal? We're probably going to be dealing either with a dealing with Zoanthrope and Neurothrope. Like I said in the stream that no one could hear last time, I don't know how to pronounce that. Like, I don't know which one is which. Was confused the two. Someone picked up a medkit. My teammates have a medkit. That's nice. I'm the one carrying the extra armor, which is funny in my opinion. For the extra XP boost, it probably would be good for me to get a medkit. That's all I'm gonna say. We got this right here. We don't want to pass that up. You know, because we really need it right now. So yeah, we went through this refinery where they're storing the dead substance, bringing it out. We got it all built up. All of that energy from the dead thing is going to be used against a living thing. Fascinating. Right? What does that mean? What's the idea here? There we go. Carnifex, nice. So that's not too bad. In a sense, it's not too bad. Oof. Nice, so we got him against that wall. That's nice. That's always a good thing. Oh, timed that too early. So we don't want to hit him with any grenades. Obviously, that's going to do jack fucking shit. And because our guy is like right there, he's going after him. Nice, so he's going to do that. We're going to dodge that sniper. He's getting pissed, so we'll attack him a little bit. So I'm going to go for a jump as he does that, and then we'll hit him a little bit more. But I'm trying to save some of those attacks for us in case of an emergency where I have to. He's going to hit me with that sniper. Fuck. So we'll get some contested health back as much as we can. We're going to take him down just in a hit more. There we go. He went for it. That's unfortunate because I needed that armor. I guess he did too. We both needed it, so I can't really blame him too much for that. We all got armor back. So if you time that properly with the bulwark, when he's just about, we're all about to get that armor back, we all get a shit ton of health back. But we don't have a bulwark. We only have a heavy and a sniper. So that's what we're doing right now. Let our guy probably take one of those because neither of them have, in my opinion, like neither of them have a medkit, or one of them has a medkit. He used it, but neither one has something like a guardian relic. And even with this kit, I feel like I can do this on Ruthless pretty easily. So yeah, so we'll let one of them take that. We'll look over here for our guy. So, guy, no, there's nothing there for you, bug. That's all right. We're gonna settle here because I'm expecting one of these guys. Everyone typically goes for those. I'm gonna settle in the center. I go back up here to pick up some ammo real quick, and then I'll get down in the middle because we got some time. It's not like I'll use that plasma pistol to shoot anything right away. So we're gonna spot a horizon, see what we got. Yeah, he's already got him. And then we're gonna... Ooh, fuck. Wow, how did I do that? I did not hold down the weapon ability long enough to get a good enough attack in, unfortunately. That's what happened there. It was all on me. It was my bad. I really don't want to lose this XP. That's all I'm gonna say. It's, you know, honestly, at the end of the day, like, do I have anything to gain from holding on to this XP? No, absolutely not. But I'd rather not lose it for their sake, truly, more than anything. Damn it, dude. Check on our buddies. Looks like Hermosa needs some armor. Wow, really? I don't know if he's getting hit by that guy. That guy's just a dick. I'm gonna take him out real quick. Nice. Those little quick executions are nice because then you can move on. There's some other enemies that might be bothering you. So he's dealing with a bunch of stuff. Let's see if I can get over there for them. And so we want to get out of the way there. Sometimes we get locked in a combat situation. We want to take that guy out. I don't have the means to do that. That's the guy that we want to kill. Nice, so we got him taken care of. We'll come back over here. Just take these guys out by destroying that pillar. Yeah, attack me. So let's destroy this unbridled life, all-consuming life. Over. See, do you see that? Like, doesn't make any sense. That happens sometimes. I don't get why. This all-consuming life with death. Very nice, beautiful stuff. Very poetic. So what is the idea here? You can bring death back as a form of energy against... There was a med kit right there. No one saw that. I could have used it. Nice. So we did a pretty decent amount of melee damage, as you can see there. Took the least amount of damage. We found the least amount of items as well. We didn't do that much rain damage, obviously. Why would we? We didn't get as many special kills as we could have. That's unfortunate. But yeah, we did pretty good. So we got some decent abilities here. And we, we got that for our brothers as well. Excellent. So let's go ahead and leave the party. We'll do one more. I think I have time for maybe one more before I have to call it a night. We'll go ahead and do like mission against chaos. Do Fall of Atreus again. That would be boring. We could do something like Obelisk, I guess. Let's go over here and take a look at our perks first and foremost. I'm going to build something along the lines of this blade. So we're going to go, instead of with the Warden Blade, go with the Imperator Blade, right, against our Chaos guys. A little bit more of a benefit against Chaos just because of the damage it does. So we'll look at our perk tree, right? Obviously, we want this one. Why not? Like I said, may as well. So this one is nice. We'll just, after a finisher, we'll do a little bit more damage with ground pound. With the ground pound. So our contested health will fade 50% more slowly. This is why we add that plasma pistol. So we may as well get that. Damage from held and charged melee attacks increases by 25%. So if I'm going to go for like a Wings of Fury build, I'm obviously going to stick with this one. I'll get this perk for now. But if I'm going to go, again, Wings of Fury, we're going with that. All right. We're going to stick. We're going to eventually get this one. This is fantastic. We will just kind of like not use this and go for this because using this against Majoris and Extremis is just really, really helpful. And again, this one we will also take. We're going to nix that one. Hopefully get some better perks down the line here. This is when we're going to start practicing those dodges a little bit more. So we'll keep that. And we'll get this. And then down the line, we will go ahead and grab one of these two until we eventually grab this one. Finally, we'll go for that for our build, our main build. Let's make sure we have those perks set up as well here. Yeah, so that's a nice perk setup. Again, we'll go for this signature perk here. For this one, let's see, we have the Chainsword. Yeah, we're going to go with that contested health perk as well. So for that Chainsword, we definitely want... No, actually not so much. That's the funny thing. Like with that Chainsword, we could actually just stick with the Winged Fury. Because like most of the time you're doing light attacks on that, especially as that power builds up. You're not really doing any charged attacks, except for maybe the Stomp. And that's after that power has been built up. So we're gonna get that for that. Now for this one, obviously we do want this, and we are gonna go from the damage from held and charged melee attacks. And the reason for that specifically is because this acts actually, when you get that power stack set up, you are going to be using that overhead strike and that power backstep. So the power backstep and overhead strike, both of which, if I recall correctly, are held and charged attacks. So no new armor, obviously, because we're all kind of loaded up here. Maybe look here, see if we want to do anything with the armor. I really don't think there's anything else to do at this point. Everything's kind of built up in this guy. You know, we do this maybe Sanguinius shit. Nah, it's good. This, yeah, not really. I'm not feeling it. Anything else that maybe I'm thinking about? This part that really does look great. But you know, again, like it's so chapter specific. That's what I mean. Like, that's all well and good, but if there were more like things to purchase that weren't so chapter specific, I feel like that'd be a little cooler, right? Like kit bashing this, like making it a little bit more um modifiable across the board would be really cool. We got our wings there. I like those wings. Let's see if we want anything here. Can we do anything? Not yet, right? Because we don't have this unlocked. That'll look nice. And eventually, down the line, that'll look pretty great too. So that's that. Yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's see, I think we said obelisk. We're gonna do obelisk just to kind of demonstrate the difference between those two swords. Make sure we actually are using that sword and not the axe. There we go. So we'll come over here. I think obelisk wouldn't be bad. We could do reliquary. It's insane, but we could do it. Let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, do obelisk. See if anyone's there. Hopefully someone's there. Otherwise, you know, we're just kind of like around. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what. So we'll back out for a sec and just take a look at what the mission says. Aurora must be destroyed, right? So that's we played the main game. That's kind of like the Necron obelisk that's kind of floating in the air. Control consoles scattered across the battlefield power the shield protecting the device. So you're going to have to turn those consoles so that the power is switched. I think it probably switches like the polarity or something. Who the hell knows? Target one such console and disrupt the flow of energy. Interesting. So kind of like we're disrupting the flow of energy to destroy a main node in set of nodes where if the node's polarity are switched, then the central node is destroyed. So let's take a look here. Kind of wait. We're on Ruthless. It's not like we couldn't do this, but with some bots. But I'd rather kind of wait for some people to come with us. Much time, so I'd rather not do this one on my own. We'll come here while we're waiting to see if we've unlocked any ordeals. I don't think we have yet. So this is the one we're going to play around with a little bit more. We got Jason the Wise joining us. That's always pretty good. Unfortunately, a console player, because if you watched my streams before, it's not that I have anything against console players per se. I played this on PlayStation. They are a bit how would I put it? Slow. So yeah. Not always the most astute players. PC players to me a little bit brighter. Anyways, I thought he was joining me rather than vice versa. I guess I didn't read that well. He who cast the first stone, right? Me. I guess I wasn't as astute as I could be there. This up. Hopefully we do get to load in as assault. Otherwise, what's the point? We have to back out. And if we did back out, I'd probably call it a night because, frankly, I gotta get to bed soon. I need to eat one more meal. So, there you go. We'll get our assault guide real quick. And we'll get right into it. Nice. So we're starting the mission. You know, so we kind of start out in that area back there. And we get up to this bridge pretty quickly. So we're coming to a bridge. So we're just coming from like a crash landing site, destruction, entering into something like where we would find a mausoleum, right? So this is kind of why I like this. Like, obviously, like, they're not attacking as quickly, right? So since they're not attacking as quickly, what's the point in having the sword move as quickly? You can do a little bit more damage as a result. You can switch to this kind of swirling blade, doing a little bit more damage to the Zangor, which is always nice. Gonna pop these guys like rotten cherries or rotten grapes. So that's what they are. Get that. Hit him. Nice. So we're all kind of set up here. Let's go for it. That looks like he's got an Ultramarine set up. Ooh, darker hue though. That's nice. Very nice. More grimdark aesthetic. I like that. And we have a Space Wolf. Like, it's just everything's the same about the Space Wolves. I honestly don't understand the. I don't get it. Their attention a little bit. Ooh. Even with those Hellbrutes, that extra little bit of damage is quite nice. Especially if you kind of like land that. What is it? Your ability, kind of launch off, right down. That blow, very nice. Now, if I were playing, say something like Vortex, I would be going with more like of a parry weapon rather than something like a balancer block. It's because in that case, even if I want, like maybe I'd do two different setups. One that was more of a balance weapon up until the point that I had to deal with the Vortex Beast. Then I would want something like parry weapon. I guess that's what these are good for. We can just kind of switch our weapons. So in here, since it looks like both of our guys, pretty like much ranged guys, I'll go ahead and grab the chalice. So we've gone from like that kind of crypt area, destructive crypt area, into a mausoleum. And in the process, we're grabbing something like a relic. And this light guides us through what we cannot see, the darkness of this path. Yeah, so this guy right here, that was unfortunate, right? Because that came at a point where, like, I could not, like, see that coming. That was unfortunate. I saw that correctly, I do think there are 2 Terminators here. It'd be wise to come over here. Dude, Jason, the wise. What happened, buddy? So that sucks for Jason, I guess. Usually you want to draw the enemies into the light. That's what protects you in the darkness. I don't know what the fuck happens here. So, like, I'm stuck. There we go. We're going deeper into the crypt, into this darkness with our light. Our knowledge of how to turn chaos. Chaos is energy against itself. Take him out. That's why you're the ranged guys. I'm the melee guy, right? Can't really do anything too much about that. They did? You please take him out. Like, what do you expect me to fucking do? Here we go. Please, can you... Anyone? 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 Bueller? Bueller? There we go. Nice. Let's go ahead. We're coming down here. Let's see if there's anything over here. Maybe we can get something for our homies in this crypt. Any goodies? Yeah, we got some armor for our Vanguard. No, he's good. Maybe. I think he grabbed it, thankfully. So we're continuing to move through this darkness, the crypt. So we either have to grab this servo skull, or we have to charge these panels. So let's go ahead and drop this. It's definitely the servo skull. But I went ahead and dropped that because, frankly, dealing with these enemies before you do that is very, very wise. It's in my opinion. Rather than, you know, like, thinking about, oh no, like, I'm gonna carry this thing around? Really? You're gonna carry that thing around. Just all these enemies are coming after you. That seems like a bad idea, but I've seen guys do that before. Not the brightest idea, and I've seen them die very quickly as well. No surprise. And people kind of like you'll notice like people will like freak out in those instances. Well, they'll want to move like right away, but the reality is it's actually more prudent to just kind of like stand your ground, especially because this thing allows you to just regain a bunch of health back. So like take out those enemies, do your best. Especially if you can like get grenades back or something. You can move out of the way for a moment. Just keep screwing these guys over until, yeah, exactly. That light is exactly how you protect yourself against that giant horde. And since it looks like that wave has pretty much died down a bit, we can begin to move out into the wilds. There we go. So we've got a little piece of technology, little dead being to guide us through this realm of death. So we'll point that out to our homies. Jeez, dude. It'd be nice if our... I'm running low on ammo, so I'm going to go ahead and just over here real quick, grab some ammo. It'll be a nice suggestion to our compatriots to grab some as well before we get out of here. So a little being, nice. So that's probably a Terminator if I have any experience, or a Sorcerer. Either one will follow us, so it's prudent to continue to move ahead. I don't see any kind of like any signs that like someone's dropping missiles. So my guess is it's going to be a sorcerer of some kind. Oh, that is in fact a Terminator. So what we're going to do is just drop this down here really quickly and draw him out so that we can just take him out real quick. Here we go. There we go. So we are out of that realm of death. We are protected by the Chalice of Light. And we are now moving on from that Chalice of Death to face some more chaos. Now we are dealing with what I'm pretty sure, confident, is a Hellbrute. Yep, so we got a Guardian Relic there. We're going to point that out to our homies. Maybe even leave that. He hit me with his little laser beam. Those things suck, by the way. Like, they track you down in ways that are just remarkable. Honestly, like, insane. I want to kind of circle around him, see where he's at. Before I get going at him. Again, those grenades aren't really going to be of too much use here. I'm just going to let this guy up a little bit. So that'll protect us against that real quick. Since that was a bit of a surprise, we'll get out of there. That's going to charge up just in just a moment. We'll let... Okay, so that'll be that 3 charging, because it's kind of like at an angle, like it's hard to see. Ooh, Jason, buddy. I shouldn't have dodged out of that way. Nice work. He's going to attack one more time. We'll do that little block. We'll jump up in the air because he's getting pretty close. Take him out. Nice. There we go. That's how you do it. And hopefully no one used up that Guardian Relic, because I will point that out to Jason. So Jason, go and get that relic, Jason. This guy, like, don't waste the ammo. He might, like, shoot at you. Kind of pointless to waste your ammo. Would be fun. I guess it's fun. If you find it fun, is it pointless? I'd still say yes. That's just me. Doesn't really get you anywhere, even if it's fun. What is it helping you to achieve? Alright, so they're both standing there. Probably not the best idea. We're kind of shifting the world around us. Going back to that environmental storytelling, kind of what is the main idea conveyed by the mission? We're shifting the world around us, shifting a world of death to reach to reach a point that is bringing out kind of like entities from what I would consider to be an empathic realm, like a psychic realm, realm of the mind, where life and death are combined. Yeah. If our guy moves away from it, we can move ahead. I don't want to waste that. Why do that? Shoot at us for a little bit. Move forward. So we're just going to jump right down. What's nice about this mission is it seems to like change. Those things do seem to change like every single time. So these little guys, lots of Zangor. That's kind of fascinating. I don't know why that's exactly the case. That shield integrity is pretty low. Probably by the time we do that, we'll be ready to just blast his ass. So we'll jump up real quick and we'll ground pound him. There we go. There we go. He's done. Go ahead and align this. So we're going to change. We're going to flip around the current of life and death so that death is in its proper place. Weakening the emergence of this empathic and psychic phenomenon entering into the universe. Interesting shit. What was the main idea there? You can turn death against a force, against a spiritual force that comes from a dead realm against itself. It's all about using death against itself. So that's our theme for these last two missions. One form using death against a form of unbridled light, the other using death against a form of spiritual and psychic phenomenon. Flipping the current of that spiritual and psychic phenomenon to overload, to destabilize it so that it dies. Rather than bringing out energy, it turns energy back into itself, overwhelmed by its own current and power. Here we go. We did that. Nice job. Very nice. Probably did pretty good damage there. Yep. We didn't take too much damage. We did a lot of melee damage. We got a lot of special kills, so it was nice. There we have it. So, I'm going to call it a night, homies. I think this stream probably a little bit better than the last one. We'll take a quick look. The perks that we got, I'll probably buy those real quick, just because obviously we're at Prestige 4. May as well just get all the perks at this point. Or Furious Strike. So we will kind of optimize this more for that axe. We're definitely going to use this on all of these. It's just better. This is fantastic as well. We're just going to get rid of the squad cohesion. Do this. It's just better. Anytime you can deal more damage, take enemies out more quickly, it is better. So for this, right? So if we're going for that Winged Fury perk on the sword, we're going to keep that. I believe this is the sword. Yeah, this is the sword itself. We're going to keep the kind of the rush perk. Actually, yeah, we're going to keep the rush perk as well. Winged Fury perk, right? Yep. On the axe, we are going to go with that overcharge. That is what we're going to do. On the sword, we'll go ahead and keep the Winged Fury perk as well. Is that overcharge? I mean, honestly, we could do the overcharge on this one because those kind of sweeps, like the spins and everything and the hard hits, those really do benefit from those 25% increases. And then it's stacking here and that's stacking there as well. So that's definitely a benefit. And then down the line, when we go for more of that, this build, you know, hitting an enemy with a jump hack restores that ability charge. This is just so extremely useful. Like anytime you do it, you get that ability charge back. So we may as well just keep that, even if we want to increase that ground pound damage a little bit. Yeah. So here as well. Now, if we were playing with a hammer, I would suggest getting that, but we're not. We're just gonna go with Furious Strikes. So that'll be that. We're gonna go ahead and since I showed off those two different swords, so this one again a little bit more for chaos, this one a little bit for Tyranids because of its speed. This one for its drop in speed but increase in strength. Nice. So we're gonna go next time. We're gonna use this White Scar sword. Really like it. It's fun. Play around with that a little bit. See what happens. Maybe we'll also play some Dawn of War, the original Dawn of War. Be a good time. Checking to see what happens. I have over here, by the way. What is this telling me? Oh yeah, so like I was trying to level this thing up. Got a couple new versions here. That's about it. But yeah. So we'll do this next time. Peace out.